Hey, to whoever may need this nugget of encouragement, things will be alright, so quit your worrying. I get it, the odds can stack back against the wall, but even consider it such, know you'll stand tall. Sat and watch from the sidelines, one too many times, wicked games we play, make me wanna lose my mind. Found solitude, knowing it'll be over.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to SheEO Talk. This is the woman's journey, right? This is where we do interviews to discuss a woman's career path or their entrepreneur experience, right? I am your host, Jasa King. On this segment of the Just Jasa platform, that is where we have all of the amazing podcasts that I bring to you on either a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or a Saturday within a month. We will be discussing, again, the entrepreneur world, a stay-at-home mom's experience going from a career to being at home, or just a woman with an amazing story. Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. right here on all of your favorite podcast platforms, or check me out on YouTube with a full video. You can also find our past episodes on our website at audacityofwomen.com. If you enjoy these amazing women's stories, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like this video, comment your inspiration, but most importantly, turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the future interviews. Now, let's jump into this amazing SheEO talk for the week. Back to SheEO Talk, the journey of a woman. As you know, on Wednesdays, we are introducing different SheEOs that have an amazing entrepreneur background or are just in the career profession. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those words go together. But today's SheEO is going to be Logan, and she is going to jump into her marketing business that she started from the ground up. And I'm super excited for you to hear her story and everything she's gone through in order to get here. Now, without further ado, I will let her introduce herself a little bit more, and then we'll jump into the interview. All right. Thank you so much, Logan, for coming on. How are you?
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and be able to share with your audience today kind of my background and the things I've gone through and how, it can be relatable to other people that, may be going through similar things. So I'm really excited.
Yes, definitely. And I have so many women in my audience, so I know that they're looking forward to just really getting some marketing tips because good gravy, we have no idea what we're doing, right?
Okay. The marketing world is crazy today. It is changing constantly and it can be so difficult to keep up with. But that's why, working with marketing experts, it's nice because that's what we do. We keep up with all of the things that are changing almost daily, it seems like.
Yeah, and good gravy. I'm just catching up with TikTok. I know I'm like 6 years behind. I'm 6 years behind, but I just kind of got the groove of it. And now I'm hearing that it's not as popular. So it's a mess, but I definitely am super appreciative for your insight. So obviously we talked a little bit. Tell me where you got started. So we talked about your business partner. We talked about how it fell off and just wanting to jump out on your own. So tell me how it started.
Yeah. So I, went to college for marketing. I've always had an interest in marketing. I think it was kind of my first classes I took in my undergrad. And I think it really boiled down to I had a really great professor that just really sparked my interest. And in a consumer behavior class, it was kind of just researching the trends and the behaviors that people make of why they buy something and what makes them want things. And I found that so interesting because I also am someone that I've always loved more of, math. I thought before that I actually thought I would go to school for accounting. I learned I'm not great at accounting. That is something in my business that I outsourced right away. I was hired a bookkeeper and I learned it because I learned in college that was not my strong suit. But I really like numbers and I love the data that we can get with marketing and understanding what it means and how it impacts a business and makes decisions of what goes forward. So that was kind of my first taste that was actually in college. And I fell in love with it. And so I ended up getting an internship in college that got to do a lot with marketing and PR and that kind of stuff. And then after college, I entered the workforce. I, wasn't really anticipating starting my own business right away. It just kind of happened down the road. I actually ended up working in corporate marketing for a few years first and just really gaining a lot of experience under my belt and working with a team that was, I would say, like pretty average size. There was, between 4 and 10 people any given time, depending on, what projects were going on. And I got to learn all the different areas hands-on of marketing for those years, and learning, again, like how I could apply that data, what was going on, what the creative aspects were going to it. And even then, I mean, that was, I graduated college in 2016. So, I mean, marketing has changed drastically since then. We're keeping up with so many changes even now. But that's really kind of where like I got to experience everything hands-on. But then when the pandemic happened, I lost my job. Actually, I was laid off. As a lot of people were, and I wasn't really sure what to do. I had freelanced a little bit in college, and I found a lot of people weren't hiring. So I thought, well, let me try this. And it kind of took off. But I had a friend who had also been laid off from her job in marketing, and we had been roommates in college. We were best friends. And so we decided to start a joint venture marketing company together, and really we thought we could play off each other's, strong suits. And so that was, we learned a bit of a challenge early on that actually only lasted about 6 months, where we just learned that our values didn't align, kind of our goals didn't align, that we saw very different things in what we wanted in a business. I always saw myself as like, I'm going to be a CEO one day. I'm going to do things certain ways. And because I think I'm so data driven and she was more on the creative side, sometimes it's hard to find that balance. And I think that they're both equally important parts of business. It wasn't working when neither of us had any knowledge of how to start a business.
Yeah.
And so I decided to walk away, and that was really hard because, that does kind of end a friendship as well when things can get messy like that. So that was hard, but I moved on, and I decided to hire a business coach who works specifically with social media managers, grow that, because I was like, well, I know marketing as a whole, but let's maybe focus on one area. And social media is huge right now. So as one person, I couldn't be offering tons of services. And, so kind of focused on how to grow a social media management business first. And then that kind of took off. And then I started hiring people to help me with that. And I could start offering, so if my team was handling the social media services, then I could start offering ads, or I could start offering emails as other services that I knew how to do without having to do all the work of the social media side myself, because it's a lot to keep up with. So that just kind of grew over the past 4 years now, where I have been able to grow my team. And so that way I can continue growing a business while, hiring people to kind of handle the day-to-day, work with our clients, be experts in their field as well. And then we come together collectively to provide the best experience possible for people and see the efforts of all of our marketing coming together. So that's kind of the journey of how that happened. I mean, obviously lots of other things that, happened along the way, but that's really how it's led here. I wouldn't say I meant to go out and set out to do this and build, a marketing agency per se, but I wouldn't trade it. I don't think that it was supposed to happen any other way. So.
Yeah, I love that, Logan. Thank you so much for sharing that journey. It's funny because my background is all over the place, but my minor in college was business. It was just business management. So the same pathway, finances, oh my gosh, I failed it twice because it was just so hard. It was so hard. So I definitely can relate there. And even in high school that kind of shows how young I am. But in high school, that was something I focused on, was the fashion marketing. That's what I did. And the same way, I love to know the ins and outs. Why are you putting this here? Why are you using these colors? The just importance of placement was so fun to me. So I love that. My question would be, what is the difference between what you do, what you have created, and a coach?
Yeah, so there's a lot of differences, actually, that a lot of people sometimes get tripped up on and what that is. And so what we do as a marketing agency is more of a done-for-you service. So we have clients that come to us and say, we know we need marketing. We either don't know how or we don't have the time. So those are usually the two defining factors. And they're like, can you please just guide us, tell us what needs to be done, and then we'll align on it. So we always make sure we're aligned on strategy first, and that it makes sense to them and with their sales team, and that everything, is cohesive. And then we take it and we actually implement it.
Okay.
Other side, on the coaching side, which I call more of, consulting side is where, and we do have clients that we do this for, that we don't actually do the done for you services, but we'll create strategies. We'll guide them through it. They might have an internal marketing team that maybe is really small, kind of in all the different areas, and doesn't have, the time, or maybe are newer entry level. And so they need a little bit guidance. And so we will guide them on, strategy. We'll help them look at their reports and analyze their numbers of what do these mean, and how can you use them to make decisions in your marketing to grow your business. Or we'll give them ideas for content, because content is huge right now. But sometimes when you're in your business day to day, it can be really hard to come up with prompts for yourself of what should I be filming? What should I be recording? What should I be putting out? Because even I will tell you, for my own business, even though I own a marketing business, I struggle the most with coming up with content for my own business, because you're in it every single day and you almost overanalyze it and overthink it, and you need kind of an outside perspective sometimes. And so that's what we do to kind of help coach and guide people and consult them on maybe they have, the structure in place or the time to implement it, but they just need some guidance of what to do.
Right. I love that. So for people that are just starting out, where would you, I guess, guide them, right? So if they don't have the money to really jump into it full range, but they just want to know what should they be doing either by themselves or with their small team, what would you suggest?
Yeah. So I always, recommend, first of all, there are so many free resources out on the internet right now, and it can be overwhelming. Sometimes, I think though, finding a, you can even go on like Pinterest or Instagram and look at best, or even Google, like best top free, training sources. And so, like HubSpot has really great ones. You can go on these and find them. And I always, to be completely honest, recommend if someone's just starting out, because I do think it is important to have at least a little bit of foundation and knowledge, because if I'm sitting here as an expert and talking to a business owner that has no concept at all of anything marketing related, it's going to be a very difficult conversation to have, because there's going to be a disconnect. And so I think it's really important as a business owner, whether you don't have to become an expert, but to educate yourself enough to understand the lingo, the terms a little bit, understand what the platforms options are, the different things like that, that can be, just basic knowledge. I think that's is a really good place to start. There's so many YouTube videos. Literally, there's so many resources out there as a really great place to start. Then if they're still not sure and they come to us and they're like, I'm just not sure, we have, various options. Sometimes I'm just like, let's do a 1-hour consulting. Sometimes, depending on the size of their business, their goals, whether they have, investments, it really just depends on where they're at and where they're looking to go, of then how we decide to help them. I am the type of business owner, because I'm a small business owner myself, that I don't like to just be like, oh, we'll just become a client and we'll just do it all for you, if I don't think it's going to be beneficial to them. Because there are sometimes clients that are not a good fit. And I'm going to be completely honest and transparent with someone, because it's not going to benefit anyone and waste everyone's time. So anytime I have a conversation with someone, I'm always guide them to the direction that I think is actually going to work for them. And it's going to vary business by business. No business is going to have the same strategy. No business is going to have the same timeline. It's all going to look different. And that's why I think it's really important. Like, my favorite thing is just getting on calls with new clients or potential clients, or maybe not even become clients, but just as a free strategy call, essentially, to just talk through someone's goals and be like, hey, what, are you looking to do? I can let you know if we can help you and how. And if not, I have some other resources I can guide you to, because I think that making sure that someone is set up for success, no matter what, is the most important thing.
And that is very true. And I think that's something that I've come across with many women that I've been able to interview, is trying to find that soft spot, trying to find that place where it works. Like, I have a lot of moms, a lot of stay-at-home moms that I talk to, and balancing being a mom, balancing trying to just do something nice for yourself and trying to run your business, it's a mess. So understanding that, at least for what I've come across, is Pinterest is my best friend. Absolutely love it. I love going on social media and just looking at the trends at the time and figuring out, okay, what can I maintain? So when I am ready to transition to getting that expertise, I'm ready. At least I understand, okay, when they say SEO, I just learned that, by the way, that, I can understand, I can follow. And I think that even though I'm not an expert, I'm able to give those people that I've talked to that little bit of knowledge so they can have the foundation to get started. So I definitely applaud you there.
Yeah, I think that just having that, that baseline knowledge is really important in educating yourself and advocating for yourself. And same thing, you said that, just what little bit you can do when you're trying to balance it all. So, some people will be like, oh, well, you need to go post on social media every single day of the week. Well, that might not be feasible for someone. So how about if we start small and you say, you know what, when I'm starting my business, I want to post twice a week. And that is having a small presence is going to be bigger and better in the long run than no presence at all. And it's going to help build your credibility. Will you grow faster if you're posting more? Sometimes. It also depends on the quality of content. You might be able to post really quality content and post less. So it really kind of depends on how much you educate yourself on that stuff. But, I don't think that anyone should ever burn themselves out, because if you go try and post 7 days a week right away just to start, you're going to burn yourself out if it's something you've never done before, and you're probably not going to keep up with it. And then you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to end up resenting it and not actually doing it. And then it's just going to be a whole cycle. And so that's where I always tell people to set small goals. If you want to make it twice a week, great. If you want to make it, I show up on my stories and show my face on there if you're the face of your brand, on weekdays, or maybe only weekends if you're busy, whatever works for you and fits in your schedule, because people in your audience are going to be interested in your story anyway and who you are, more so than what you're even selling. And so sharing your journey and your story and just being really authentic and doing what works best for you and fits in your schedule is going to be better than, just trying to fake it and get by and do what everyone says you should do, because in the long run, that's not going to be as sustainable, and people also aren't going to relate to it as much.
And that is so true. And I actually follow a couple people that are podcast producers, and that's something that's very common, is just finding what you're capable of doing, right? So that's something we just mentioned. But just if you're going to do that big presence, that's my focus right now, is really trying to push out, okay, on weekends, hi, I'm here. Yes, I'm still alive. I know all you see is these scheduled posts, but at least it's something. And making sure that people are following all of my pages. So even if I am posting once a week here, I know that if they're following all 3 of my pages, they're seeing it at least 3 times. So it helps to some extent of, it may not be right, but at least it's working right now until I'm able to get to a point of, doing more. But I definitely agree for where I'm at right now. That's a great.
You're doing great. You're doing great. You're exactly doing what you should be doing right now while you're, making it through. So props to you.
Thank you. So I want to ask one of the questions that kind of aligns with the platform, right? So we are mental health, we're women's awareness, we're confidence building, we're everything that has to do with women right now. And something we talked about in the beginning, I hope it's okay that we jump back to it, is where you are in your life, right? So I'm new mom. I'm been a wife for a year now, a little over a year. And when I went into it, similar to you, I wanted my life on a certain path. And oh my goodness. So I started my career right before I had my son, maybe a year before. I was doing great, living my life. And then as soon as I had my son, everything changed. We moved. I'm now a stay-at-home mom. And it has been a transition trying to figure out where I stand. So hearing you say what you wanted to do and where you want to be before you start your family, it is so inspirational. And I understood exactly what you meant, because you are trying to just get there. So when you are thinking about this life that you want, how do you keep on track with that? Or if you have transitional periods, what is your mindset, or how do you get out of that doubt, I guess?
Yeah. So that's a really good question. And honestly, it is something, I will be honest, I have struggled with over the years. So, when I was younger, even when I was working at my old job, for example, I thought I was going to be married and done having kids by the time I was 27. Now I am almost 30 years old and I'm not married and I don't have kids. And I know that I want those things one day. And sometimes I get in my head even, and I do doubt myself, because a lot of my friends are all getting married. They're all starting to have kids now. And it is hard. And I'm like, okay, I did, 4 years ago set out to run this business. And I knew that I was going to kind of put dating on the back burner. I wasn't going to be putting as much emphasis, because my lifestyle and my work ethic, I was working a lot, didn't necessarily support making the time for that. And that's a decision I made. Looking back, sometimes I think maybe I did that a little backwards, but it was at the time what I wanted. And I think that it has gotten me to a place now where I am really happy, most of the time with that decision, because I do want my business set up for success. I really want, when I do have a family one day, where I don't have to be working a ton, where my business is set up, where the team is kind of handling things, and I can be a stay-at-home mom and just kind of oversee things. But that's not easy. I have invested in a lot of mindset, I guess you could say, coaching. I go to therapy once a week. There is a lot of things, and it's definitely something I've struggled with, and I have to sometimes, remind myself to refocus, or, and it's not that, dating and starting a family is completely off the table. It's something even now, as I get closer to 30, that I probably want more than anything, more than even like the success in my business right now. But the way that I have lived my life over the past 4 years hasn't really supported that. So now I'm kind of in this in-between balance of, what are the next steps and how do I make this happen when I've just been grinding so hard for years that it hasn't been a focus? And now my values have kind of shifted in where I'm at and what I'm really wanting. So that way I don't feel behind. I don't get, it's hard to not be hard on yourself. And so it's something, I also work with a lot of clients that are moms, and they're going through that transition. I have a lot of friends in this business that are doing that. And so something I've just learned is that, like, not to compare yourself to anyone else either, that we're all in our own stages of journeys, and we're all honestly just figuring it out together. And so, no one is not struggling here. Even if we say we're thriving, like, I am the healthiest, happiest I've ever been in my life. I will say that. Like, on the outside, like, I am thriving, and that is true. And I also am struggling with these other desires in my life that I know will drastically shift my business.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That is such a great perspective. It is so great to share. It's funny. I graduated from college in 2020, and my entire period up until my last 4 years has been that I've been grinding. I've been trying to build my business. I was working, and met my husband. He's not that type. He works all the time, but he's also like, sit down. And I'm like, no, what do you mean? There's so much to do. And now in this transition, my son will be 1 next month. And I'm just kind of like, okay, my life has completely stopped. And it took a while for me to understand my new strengths. And that was something that me and my husband talk about all the time. Like, in the past, I was good at spending hours just sitting there developing content, developing services and products. And now I'm in a position where I am recruiting more. I'm looking for people to help me do these different things because I'm exhausted. Like, just being honest, I'm tired.
I'll be honest, I'm tired, and I don't even have kids. So I get so much from moms. I'm like, I don't know how you all do it.
Me either. Me either. 3 o'clock in the morning. That's all I got to say. But it's important. And I think that having these conversations with women about that transitional period is so important, because I know for me, it was a complete shock. I felt like I was losing my value. I was losing my focus, and that nothing was going to work out. It was just a downhill. But at some point, understanding that even without these changes, these normal womanly changes that people put on you, you're going to go through that period where you have to realign and reassert your strengths. It's constantly changing. So I appreciate you sharing your perspective on that, because I thought it was so interesting that we were in the same mindset. Like, that's exactly what I was hoping for. And yeah, that all went out the door.
It happens. And everyone keeps on telling me, they're like, someone's going to walk into your life one day and it's just going to completely change. And I'm like, it probably will. So let's just see how it goes.
Hey, I'm rooting for you. I know it's...
But you know what? I think that the me like 3 years ago would have just shut it down. They could have been the most amazing person ever, and I would have been like not been here for it and not had the time. And now my mindset has shifted that I'm like, you know what? Maybe my business doesn't need to be my life 24/7. It's going to, I can still have a business and want these other things in life, and that's okay.
Yes, that is my motto. That's okay. That is okay. That's okay. That is like my motto.
I love it.
Well, I love this interview. I appreciate your time. So before we go, please, how can we get in touch with you? Social media, website?
Yes. So you can follow me. My personal social media is at Socially Logan on Instagram and TikTok. I post lots of behind the scenes content there of just like the real raw sides of entrepreneurship and the things I'm going through. And then my marketing agency is at Your Marketing BFFs on Instagram or yourmarketingbffs.com. If anyone needs any, marketing help, we always offer that free strategy session to just kind of figure out what your next steps are. And help you find the direction that you might need to go in. So
yes, I love it. Thank you so much, Logan. Again, I am super excited for everything you have coming. I am rooting for you, girl. I hope this transition period is going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to it. Yes, of course. And if you have anything that you want to promote, I know we're growing, but I always look forward to bringing people back and just making sure we can keep up with your journey. That would be amazing.
absolutely. I will keep you posted. I will be launching my own podcast soon, and I will definitely be excited to bring you on and share your journey on there as well. So I think that's really great when we can have these conversations and vice versa. So I'm really excited. I will definitely keep you posted on all that's to come and, keep up. So it's been really great chatting with you and getting to know you better too.
Thank you. Yes, please. I look forward to it. I am super excited. Oh, I'm so excited. Yes, please send me all the information.
I will.
Let you guys know it is another amazing Wednesday. We will be doing more of these amazing SheEOs in the future. But to make sure you go check out our website, audacityofwomen.com, to check out everything with Logan, all of her social media pages, her website, her podcast, everything is going to be right there. So definitely go check her out. Until next time, I'm Jasa. This is SheEO Talk. Bye. Bye. All right, guys, that was our episode. Thank you so much for listening to this amazing interview from another SheEO. Here at SheEO Talk, the women's journey, we like to make sure that we are catering to our audience. So if you are interested in being a SheEO or you want to just be a guest on the Just Jasa platform, please make sure you visit our website, audacityofwomen.com, and go under the podcast section. On that same section, you're going to find the sign up links. Go ahead and sign up with us to be a guest on any of the Just Jasa platforms, okay? That could be SheEO Talk, that could be Just Jasa Saturdays, or our new segment, which is Awareness and Heritage Panels. And lastly, our biggest one, which will be coming now in May, Contrary to the Culture. So make sure you go ahead and sign up. I would love to have some new guests. But before you go, thank you so much again for watching or listening, depending on your platform. Make sure you like, share, comment, but of course, subscribe to all of our channels on our platforms, as well as turn on your notifications so you don't miss any future interviews. Thank you so much. I'm your host, Jasa King. Until next time.
Hey, to whoever may need this nugget of encouragement, things will be alright, so quit your worrying. I get it, the odds seem stacked back against the wall, but even consider it such, know you'll stand tall. Sat and watch from the sidelines one too many times. Wicked games to play make me wanna lose my mind. Found solitude knowing it'll be over soon.